Hello, I'm Sean Lambert, and welcome back to DAK 2. We're on turn 2, and after I finished my last video, and the first video had gone out already, or I was just going out rather, I realized that, well, I had made some glaring rules mistakes. Luckily, the good thing about making videos is that you can learn the rules mistakes pretty quickly because people tend to comment on them. In fact, that is probably the best part of making YouTube videos, is how much you learn about games compared to if you were just playing by yourself. So I feel vindicated that I started putting in the effort to make these videos. Although I do find making videos about regular hex and counter games to be a lot more difficult than the computerized ones, because there's a little bit more wear and tear on your brain, I guess, as you're going. So it's hard to think, play, and think about what you're going to say. Versus a video game can kind of be a little bit more mindless. So the key rule mistake that I was making is that if a unit is in range of the throw range of its core, so like if this Libyan core here is in range of the front, which it is, we had already established that, then it can throw the trace supply, not just regular supply. In other words, you can make your trace by being within the, as my wake up alarm, by being within the trace, by being within throw range of a core that is sitting in trace, if that makes sense. It obviously didn't sink into me. I read that rule, and I guess I just promptly ignored it. I think I might have even read it in the video, but regardless, that's the kind of mistakes you make early on in a campaign. And the faster you catch them, the faster you can deal with them. So in terms of retconning what the supply situation should be, I mean, it affected both sides about the same. So I think probably what I'll do is just give both sides 1 SP. I think I spent about 1 SP on that mistake for both sides. So I'll just give both teams 1 SP. And then we'll call that done and dusted and never have to think about it again, hopefully. We'll give 1 SP over to the Allies and 1 SP over to the Axis. Oh, actually, Control Z is to increase the value of a counter in this module. That's interesting. I know in Tabletop Simulator, Control Z is to basically break your game, so it's good that it's not game breaking. As people are very well trained to use Control Z to undo. And in OCS, I don't believe... Oh, it does have the undo feature enabled. Okay. There's a global undo feature, which you can disable in Vassal. So some modules that I've played have had that disabled, but OCS is not one of them. So what this means for us is there's a big change now. From Solemn, we should be able to supply 8 road hexes or 8 truck movement points away. So it should very well be in range of us all the way up to CD Barani. And then once we have CD Barani captured and in our hands, then we don't have to worry about it as much. So with that in mind, I think this turn, assuming that the Axis gets to go first, it's just going to kind of swarm over there, blow these guys away, and take CD Barani. Hopefully. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world that I took it a little bit slow. Like I was saying, I kind of think it is good to let your units build up here. I don't know if I moved this guy or not. Like, I think maybe giving 1 SP back is a little generous, because I kind of think I also mistakenly did not fuel a couple units that should have been fueled. Because like this stack here should have been fueled. And I don't know if I paid the fuel cost for them. So, I mean, I'm going to stick with my 1 SP gift because it makes the game more fun to have more SP in the early phases because you can do more stuff. But I'm not 100% sure that that was the right thing to do. We also just have a lot of stuff that we need to move around and not a ton of troops to do it with. All right. Well, let's start the turn the way you're supposed to start it. We'll take a look at the sequence of play, and you're supposed to start with the weather determination segment. So we'll bring up our weather charts, and you can see here I'm going to do probably another clear turn. It's very unlikely that you roll anything except for clear. 64. Oh my god. Wait a second. That's a sandstorm. 64. Okay. All right. So now we rolled a 64. I was not expecting this. This actually could be devastating. Okay, it's only a 1. So we have a 1 sandstorm map, and then we randomly determine which maps are affected. No flight into a sandstorm map, and hexes between sandstorm maps have that sandstorm split. Randomly determine which maps are affected. So how many maps are there? There's 5, 6. So there's, I think it's, we got A, B, C, D, and E. So there's 5. Okay, and then to randomly determine it, let's say A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. I don't know if there's an actual chart that's supposed to do this, but that's how I'm going to do it. D is 4, E is 5, and 6 is reroll. Alright, so that's the rule we're going to implement for this turn. I don't know if that's the actual rule. So we rolled a 2, so map B has a sandstorm by Darude. Okay, we need the sandstorm marker. This is exciting. Map B is probably the worst one I could have rolled. I did not want that. Oh my god. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. Where the hell is sandstorm? Weather. Yeah, there we go. So map B weather is sandstorm. That's unfortunate. Oh, maybe there's like a way to put them in a cup. Do they have no? All right. So the sandstorm effect, well, unfortunately, because it's map B, we actually, where is the border here of map B and C? We actually do have to worry about this now because we can't fly air missions out of map B, I think. I think that's the implication here, which actually kind of screws us because I was planning to use air missions to disrupt CD Barani. So I might just have to move up to CD Barani and not attack. Or use the dreaded artillery. Let's see. Effects of a sandstorm. Terrain costs 2. Green units and replacements can't move. Combat and barrage can't be conducted. All on-map air units on affected maps become inactive, and no refitting is allowed. Sad. Okay, so that means we got to switch all these guys. Where's the border of map B and C? Let me see. I'm trying to figure it out. So this is 5101. And what do the numbers restart at some point here? 32, 34. They don't seem to be restarting. Usually that's one of the ways you can kind of tell. It's not a very clear border. Because like the Libya-Egypt border is quite clear. Mussolini line is quite clear. But, I mean, physically, if you had the map physically, it would be very clear. Maybe on the overview map you can kind of tell. Wow, this is a lot harder than I should have clicked inventory map, not inventory all. Son of a bitch. Inventory map. I might have to break out the rulebook here. Probably should have started with this. Map B. No, that didn't help. Okay, whatever. I'm going to say everything up to Sidi Barani is affected. I don't know. That kind of looks right. I wish they had drawn the line of the where the map edge is. I've never seen this in person, so I don't really know. Whatever. All right, so everything in Libya is going to be affected. So we need to mark all of these inactive. Did that do it to the whole stack? I think it did. Yeah. That is quite harsh. Can't do anything with our beautiful planes, and everyone else has to walk slow. All right. I think there's one plane here in this front area. We'll say he's affected too. Make sure everyone's marked inactive. I don't think I had any other planes anywhere. All right. So now we also have to note that terrain costs are multiplied by 2, which I believe means that for all of our terrain effects here, we have to just multiply each of them by 2. So in that case, the road hexes even. The road is now 1. That sucks. Let's 2 times primary. So 2/3 for primary road. That's going to be a pain to count. Might not even drive in there. It's such a pain. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that was mighty unfortunate. Mighty unfortunate indeed. I don't know what else to say about that. It's kind of funny though. Okay. Turn. Each player rolls 2 dice. Yeah, that's what I thought. Player with the higher roll elects to be first or second. You get to choose if you win. That's what I couldn't remember. If you got to choose or if you just automatically went first. So let's have the Axis roll first. So the Axis player determination roll is 8. That's not great. The Allies roll even worse. They roll a 7. Okay, so the Axis do get to choose which order they want to go in. And I think, like we were discussing last time, the Axis kind of want the British to go first in this case. Except now with the sandstorm, I don't know if that's the case anymore. Yeah, I think British go first. Okay. so we will flip this. It's already on blue. Okay, so British go first. And we cannot forget the sandstorm. So I'm gonna put this over here to kind of remind myself that there's a sandstorm. There's a sandstorm. All right. Now we get to play. All right. So the bad luck there for the Axis side hopefully will turn into good luck for the Allied side. And oops, I wanted to bring up our sequence of play. So we're done with the pre-turn phase, and now we're into aircraft refit, reinforcement, and then movement. So aircraft refit, we don't have any aircraft that we can refit, and you specifically can't refit in the sandstorm, so that's not really going to be a concern. I don't believe there's any reinforcements until much later on, but we will check our reinforcement chart anyway. So in the September 22nd turn, that's when there's definitely going to be some sort of reinforcement. It's just a single battalion, but it's a tank battalion, so it's nice. So we're going to start with our, we can't move any replacements or anything up. There's an engineering replacement. That's a port engineering unit. I don't know what they do. Now there's a railroad engineering. I don't really know necessarily what they're supposed to do yet. On the attack, I think that you're supposed to move them up, but all right. So we have this guy in strat mode, I guess. Oh, we could pay to fuel him. We could pay to fuel him with what? We don't have any supply. This is the part that I don't understand in DAK, is where you are getting your supply income from. And I really struggled with this last time, and I finally just gave up and was like, I guess I'm out of supply now. There's just so little you can do if you don't have a supply point to fuel. So I have to think about that. I can't really fuel them without supply points. But I've kind of moved all my supply points up to the front. Alright, so long range desert group, they are in strat mode. We can move them up. So they've got 20 movement allowance. And that means they can move pretty much anywhere, and they can actually be supplied off a road. So maybe we move them off into the desert somewhere. Because I know they can get up to like Mersa Matruh area quite easily. Okay, so they got to be 2 movement points back from Mersa Matruh, which would be like here-ish. I think I'll put them right there. It might be too far with the sandstorm, but I don't really want to count everything out. This is based on the road chart, although the road chart is for 1/3 of a movement point, and these guys have 1/2. But oh, actually, he has 40 movement allowance. So with 40, he could definitely make it up to here. I'll stick him back here for now. Figure out what I want to do with him next turn. Just trying to move him up for now. We don't want... I wish I had cleaned up all of the strat movement markers. So I don't necessarily want all of these. I don't think I'm gonna fuel this guy or send him to the front just yet. Well, I could walk him to the front, I guess. It's gonna take a hell of a long time. I'd rather wait until I have the supply points to do so. Any of these other guys, I can't really move. Let me see. Wow, he sucks. I mean, I could put him in strat mode and move him up a little bit. He's just an Egypt border guard, though. I mean, it's not very good. But we'll put him in strat mode anyway and move him up to the front. So that gives him 8. So that's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll put him right there. He's going to be moving for quite a while. Oh, actually, he went the wrong way. Whoopsies. Right to there. Alright, so this guy, we'll put him in regular mode. I realized some of these guys got flipped last time and I never paid for them because I never actually moved them. But they really shouldn't have even been able to change modes without that. They can't move past Mercer True. I've reserved these guys, which is good, but maybe I want to move them up because they can do a quarter of their movement allowance, even in reserve mode. So in that case, they can move 1 closer, I think, because of the extra terrain costs here. Well, we could put them up here. What I'm thinking is, as a reserve, we can activate them in a reaction phase if worse comes to worse, and send them kind of up and around here. Because we do have the fuel to fuel them if we had to. But we could send some up and around over here. Alright, so now all these guys have been moved up. So we're going to take them out of move mode, put them into combat mode. And we're going to get them set up here. Is this guy already in? Wow, he's really weak. We'll leave him in the back. And we will occupy the front lines with those guys. This guy is now regular. So I think we now have a pretty strong front line, at least right in front of town, because we've got a brigade plus a regiment, plus 2 regiments really, and they all have high ARs. This guy does not have a high AR. We'll move him back there. Although he could tank some losses, I guess. Actually, maybe instead of moving him back, we move him down 1. He has 3 movement points, but with movement cost doubled, So this would be 2 movement points to get to there. Oh, actually, it is a track. So he could do 1, 2. No, it's still 2. 1, 2, 3. So he could get to here. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Moving him to there at least. What's under this reserve marker? Oh, the tank. Yeah, I guess we'll leave that in reserve. Okay. And we'll give him a leader just in case. Like we want to probably be able to hold the line there if they do attack this turn. All right, so now these guys we can flip. Oh, did they move in combat mode? Okay. Maybe I had already flipped them earlier. Regardless, they're kind of placed where I wanted them already. So I don't really care. I guess we can continue to move this guy up. He should also be in strat mode. Oh, but he's a shit. Maybe that's why I didn't move him last time. This guy though is, yeah, he's able to move. Okay, so now he has 20 movement allowance, so he can easily make it up to Mercer Mature at least. Because he can move 40 road hexes. We'll put him there for now. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with him. I guess we can move this MG guy up in strat mode as well. So he gets 8. And then let's say he's entering here. So let's move him up to there. Oh. Yeah, I think the Axis still are advantaged by going second in this case. I was on the fence about it earlier, but now that I'm actually moving the pieces around, I'm thinking, yeah, there's not that much they can react to yet, because like the lack of supply in the rear really makes it so that they can't send that much stuff up to the front. So kind of what's already up there is the best that they can do. But the good news is that the Italians should be able to just swarm in and kind of set up a nice front line, and then next turn should be able to take the fight to the British. And more stuff is going to be coming up for the Italians, so I think it's good to be a little cautious, but at the same time, they eventually do have to take the place. So, all right, we already moved him. We can't move them. We can't move them. There's nothing else that's movable. It's just a fortress artillery battery. And anyone that we could have potentially moved is now too expensive to move. So I mean, we can move these guys 3 more forward, but that's not that good. All right. Well, that's all the movement I think that we could do. We have our reserve markers down. Let's just check to make sure we don't have anything weird that we have to do in like the off-board boxes. Oh, we do have hedgehogs. What are the rules around building hedgehogs in this scenario? Can I build them at the beginning? I don't know if I can. I feel like I can't. Let me see. Hold on, I'm in the wrong book, I think. Got to go to book 3, 720. Okay, so rules. Doesn't say anything in the axis area that you can't. Yeah, it doesn't say that you can't build hedgehogs there. Where does it say how to build the bloody things? Construction. In the movement phase, an engineer-capable unit can perform construction within a 2 hex radius. Enemy zone of control is ignored. Tasks are to build and improve airbase or Hedgehog 16B. Okay, so 16B. Hedgehogs can only be built or improved during the movement phase. One regimental equivalent of units that are in combat mode and do not move can build or improve the level of a hedgehog in their hex. Alternatively, the cost is 2 SP. Okay, that's what I was wondering. It probably would be worth it to play a hedgehog here because we have 2 SP that we could spend on it. And we have this guy that hasn't moved, right? So we might as well dump a hedgehog in there. And you have to stack the hedgehog on top so that the enemy can see it. What about minefields? Do we want to build any minefields? Can we build any minefields? Oh wait, that's a game-specific rule. Minefields cannot be built prior to 1942. Okay, so we can't build minefields. I think it's probably a good idea to label this can't build until 1942. But when you can, you got a ton of them to build. And hedgehogs cost 2 SP. Oh, did I do it on the bottom one? I'll put it over here. That'll remind me. Okay, so they cost 2 SP to use. I think that's a good use of resources. Because it makes it so the enemy can't just blast right through. They're going to have to go around. All right, so I think that's everything we could do here. We don't really have to worry about supply because we didn't move anyone and everyone's still in trace. We didn't have to pay much supply this turn because we weren't moving trucks. So our big cost came in last turn. In our reaction phase, the enemy doesn't have anything reserved, so they can't do anything. There's no combat and no exploitation. And so it would just be the cleanup phase. So we could... we don't really need to clean up anything except for strat markers. I'll just dump them over here so I don't have to do it next turn. Just there's not that many that I have to do. I mean, he's probably going to be in strat mode again next turn anyway. I'll just leave it. So I think that's good. Honestly, the same with these guys. They're probably going to be in strat mode again. Actually, this guy I never moved him. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Let's take him out of strat mode. And let's move him 1, 2, 3 up to there. It's actually not the best place in the world to have him. But I guess everything's in range, so if they do take one of these hexes, they can counterattack with some artillery support. I'm gonna regret spending that extra cash on that hedgehog. I think, whatever. It can be useful. All right. Well, till next time. See ya.